Y'all said that's it. You guys are wrong, okay? We have a really special Tips from the Top tonight, okay? I decided that in this moment, we are going to honor our girl, Travia, and help her. She's actually going to be the first Tips from the Top from somebody who is not a tip of the top income earner, but somebody who is on her way. So would you guys do me the honor of welcoming and congratulating our brand new diamond, Miss Travia Gray? Where you at, girlfriend? Unmute yourself.
To do this. Oh my God. I'm like freaking out.
So what's so crazy, guys, is that Travia just got the notice because all my things are secret.
Yeah.
And they're a surprise. And I was like, yes, there's so much juice that she needs to share in this moment. And I'm ready to rip her up and help her be vulnerable in this moment and give you guys all of her juice, okay? In this journey.
I'm ready.
Woo-woo! I'm excited for you guys to hear all about it. So, Travia, I want you to explain, take me back to when you joined. Let's start there. How old were you when you joined, and why did you say yes? Just that.
Okay, just that. So I was 19 when I started. I was a sophomore in college. And what made me say yes? I would say I was inspired. I was inspired by you. I was inspired by all that I heard in the informational video. So I just decided to take a chance. And I didn't really have the money, but you told me, how often do you spend $99 and you never see a check? And I was like, you know what, this girl is right. So let me sign up.
And I think what's so crazy is that we did a three-way.
Yeah, we did.
We did a three-way. Yeah. I remember that. And you were how old?
I was 19.
19 years old, and there was somebody that you went to college with
that
sent you the video. How did you jump in your DMs?
Well, what's funny was, so at the time, I was actually not in a sorority, okay? So shout out to my sorors, Zeta Phi Beta, okay? But I was not in a sorority, so I was at an event, and she actually did my makeup. So I won a free makeover. She did my makeup. Clearly, I love lashes, brows, all of that. So afterwards, we kind of clicked, and she just slid on in there. It was like, hey, can you check out what I've been doing? I was like, yeah, this girl just did a free makeover for me. And after that, it was history. I was in the bed, cuddled up, watching the video, and ready to go.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Okay, so let's talk about this journey.
Yes.
Going diamond. How long have you been going diamond?
A long time. I've been going diamond a long time. So I started the business back July of 2015. And honestly, the business just took me for a whirlwind. I was making money, sample cash, promoting super quickly. And after I promoted, I would say early 2016, I was an emerald. So after that, it was kind of I felt like I had made it. That was my initial thought. I'm 19 years old, y'all. And it was a bonus on the table. So I got that $2,000 emerald bonus at the time. We had the good bonuses, get out of debt. So I felt like I was balling. I had never saw a comment in my check ever in my life until I came here to It Works. So man, I promoted early 2016. And then after that, I was like, ooh, okay, I made it, I promoted. And then I just kind of went back to regular life. My mentor and we kept going, I would box in, it would fall apart. But I really wasn't ready. So I can say I've been going diamond for years, but honestly, I would say seriously for about a year. Seriously, believing in myself, really doing the dirty laundry, about a year.
So what was the switch, would you say?
Honestly, Rachel, I would say the switch was me, getting myself together. And what's funny was I was thinking last night, okay, I have so much to say. How do I put this in within an hour? But honestly, through all the coaching, one-to-ones, it was me. I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, depression. Looking back on the Travia I was about a year, 2 years ago, it almost makes me cringe how much of a lack of confidence I had. And that got in my way. Like, I was afraid to do the basics. You know, I would come to the table, I was faking the funk, like behind closed doors, I just had no confidence. And honestly, like, the days just roll one into the other, and then you look up and you're like, man, I've been doing this for years and I don't even have me together. So kind of like that change before the change, I was expecting Diamond to come, and then I was going to feel like a new woman, like, okay, I can do this. You know, I'm a diamond, like I've arrived again. But it was me. I had to change. I had to embark upon a journey of like changing myself before I was ready for Diamond, because all of my insecurities lingered in my mentorship, my leadership, in me being coached, and me being mentored. It was just like, it was crazy, man. I was a mess, and I'm still a mess, but a better mess.
So let's talk about being a mess, but being a progressive mess to where you're able to truly help people in this business, which in turn allows you to go up the ranks. So can you kind of just to go into that when it comes to your personal journey?
Yeah, so my mess then was, like I said, that lack of confidence, not wanting to do the thing. So, like, for instance, being afraid to go live, being afraid. It was a lot of fear. It was a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety. And, you know, I did a lot of comparison, like, you know, people don't understand, or why is it so easy for her? And I'm dealing with this mental battle just all within myself. So that was kind of my thing. And having my mentors push me and try to coach me, it was like, I hear you, I want this, but within myself, I just was not doing the things. I was not ready. And that fear consumed me so much to where I didn't move. And that prohibited me from leading my team, saying the hard truths, calling people out, doing the things first. So just how I was with my business, with myself, I was with my business. So going through the motions, not completing my steps, you know, not being cognizant of the systems. It's like, yeah, I know steps, we hear steps, but am I putting that in the forefront of my mind every day I come to the table to work? I was not doing that. So I think now, even though I say I'm still a mess because I'm still learning, you know, I'm still learning, I'm still finding my groove, I still need to be coached and I still need to be led. But I think now I have a lot more confidence, finding more discipline, doing the things so I can hold my team accountable and say, like, look, I'm doing it for real, for real. So I know that this works, and I know that I can coach you, and I know if you do these things, you'll see success.
That's so good. That's good. And that's real. Like, that is so real. So being somebody who knows your journey, I'm going to ask you just one question and just one question here. Tell me two things outside of fear, and anxiety. What are two things that you had to let go of in order to get to where you are and even where you're going? Two things that you had to, not fear and anxiety.
Yeah.
That you had to let go of. Yep.
Okay. It was a lot. So first thing that came to mind when you asked that was distraction. Oh my gosh. So I started when I was 19. I was in college, y'all, joining a sorority. Like, let's be for real. Let's be for real. Like, I had to learn to let go of some friends, some family, acquaintances, habits. I had to let go of just a lot of things that weren't making me money. Like, I was working the business, but I would get distracted. So I would go out with friends, or I would go to the kickback, I would go to the event, or just finding things to do with my time that weren't productive. So I would say that's number one. Like, if you are in a place right now where it's not making you money, like, it shouldn't make sense. That's how I feel now. I can tell my friends, like, look, I don't have time, or let me pull out my planner and see when I can fit you in. Like, that's where I'm at right now because I know where I want to go. But at the time, it was just a lot of distractions. Boys, so if you're single and you're young and you're dating, they were a distraction. Listen, I'm gonna keep it real. They were a distraction. And the things that you allow in your life will trickle into your business. So if I'm out here running the streets and I'm arguing with my homegirls, or some little boy broke my heart or whatever, that's going to affect how I come to the table. That's going to affect how I feel. Or if I'm going out, I'm staying out all night and I'm partying and then I got to Zoom in the morning, like, what is my excuse? Because if I had to work at the cafe, like, I'm just going to go into work. Like, so I had to treat my business with the same respect. And I learned that over time as I got okay with letting those people go. And the second thing that I would say would be my habits. Like habits, sleeping all day. Oh my gosh. Like Toya's probably on here. I was so trifling, y'all. I would sleep all day. Like I'm still not an early riser, but I mean like 11, 12 o'clock. Like it was bad. And I'm going to be real. Like I loved my sleep. Graduating from college, coming back home. Like I had just gotten lazy. I had gotten out of my college routine. So having class at this time, having work, you know, having that set schedule. So letting go of those habits, like I'm going to get up, I'm going to read, I'm going to pray, I'm going to journal, I'm going to do the work. So those are the two things.
I have another question. So, you know, I was 25 when I started this business and you're 25 now, right?
24.
24. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make
okay,
it. I was 24. Actually, I was 24 when I started and I turned 25. So with us, with you being around so many mature women, right? Because we're so mature. Yes. With you being around all these mature women, right? Well, women who are older than you, like women who are married and things like that. Mm-hmm. As a single woman who's younger, with no children, how do you find your place in the midst of us where you can still thrive and be who you are, and then also fit in?
That's a really good question. So when I first started, it never really bugged me. I think the only thing that I struggled with was finding the power in like my voice, my story, seeing myself as having a voice that's as powerful.
Okay, so tell me, how do I find my voice?
It's so internal, y'all, like 80%, right? Mindset. If you believe you have a voice, you have a voice. So that was kind of my thing. It was in my head and I made myself feel small, or I allowed myself to feel small by not addressing the things that were happening with me mentally. Like, I'm just gonna be for real. So finding your voice, getting in your word, finding something that builds confidence within you, like learning the truth, accepting the fact that we've been lied to like 90% of our lives. Like we haven't even been exposed to positivity, to anybody even telling us we have a voice. Like I live with my grandpa, you know, I've been raised by an older man my whole life. So, I mean, and that was another thing too. So I think just being around you all, learning the culture of the team, learning the hearts of our leadership, you know, is how I found my voice. But back to what I was saying, you know, being around you all, I found a sense of comfort, honestly, because so if you guys don't know, my mother passed when I was 7. So all my life, like I've needed motherly figures. I'm an only child. So I looked at you guys as big sisters, still do, like big sisters, mothers, you know. So I was down for the mentorship. I was down for the circle, and then finding someone who could relate to me. So finding those teammates who were also in college, who were also single and dog moms, and just asking for what I needed.
That is so good. So finding a place to belong, and then also not knowing that we genuinely care about you. But I would say this: you're somebody who, regardless of everything, even in inconsistencies, you always showed up. And I truly believe that that's one of the reasons why you're still here today. Yeah. So when you talk about the importance of showing up, even when you're not where you want to be.
That is good. Man, so community is so big, and I definitely agree. Like the relationships I formed here definitely kept me around. Because when you come to the table, you see the possibilities. It's so easy to get in your own way when you're by yourself and while you're isolated. So every opportunity that I had where I could come over to your house or come to a meetup, come to an event, like I was thirsty for it, like looking for it. making a way, no excuse. So if you're on here, and I mean, now it's like, quarantine style, but showing up is important. Like even on the Zooms, like finding that community, and then not staying in the back of the class, right? Like sometimes we get on Zooms, no one knows our name, we just kind of get on, we don't turn on our camera, no shade, but you're staying in the back of the class. So getting on the Zooms and being loud, if there's something that the team needs or something going on, how can I help? Or can I create a graphic? If you guys were doing anything, I'm trying to figure out, like, can I get involved? Is there a lane for me here? So being like that curious cat, is what kept me around. And then learning what I liked about the business, what freedoms the business allowed for me to just take off and be myself.
That is so good. Like, I just think about all the things that you're just always willing. And of course, being in a place where you were just willing to be innovative and sharing the things that you had. And so that's something that we have always, always, always appreciated. You serving before you're a diamond leader, because leadership is walking in without the title. And so I can truly say that's something that you've always done. You decided that you were going to walk in the leadership role regardless of the title, which is important. So, I mean, there might be somebody on here who, can you talk about seeing it and acting in it before you see it in E-Suite? Let's talk about that. So let's talk about your mindset of seeing and believing you were diamond before E-Suite said it was diamond, and choosing to show up as that person, even going back to the Instagram trainings and things like that, finding ways that you could lead when you're not in charge. That's good.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. So honestly, first thing that installed that real belief for me was Monday Meetup. Like Monday Meetup squad, great minds think alike, like that legit installed that real belief. So number one, you have to get somebody in your corner that speaks your language. And you, like, literally, you installed some huge belief in me. Some amazing sideline sisters installed some amazing belief in me. And that was kind of the spark. Like, okay, we're doing this. I'm very team oriented. I'm very loyal. So it's like, all right, we all like pushing, we all going, like, for real. Okay. Like, I don't want to be left behind. You guys ain't going nowhere without Travia. Like, that's how I felt. And then starting the Instagram trainings, like, okay, let me see if I can teach. Let me get out of my comfort zone. At first, it was for accountability. It was for, I have to force myself to do this, because if I don't say I'm doing Instagram trainings every Friday at 10 a.m., I'm never going to get on the Zooms. I'm never going to lead from the front. So it was literally like forcing myself to put it on the schedule, to send it to you, to send it to the team, putting it out there, that kind of started it all. And then deciding I was going to be good at the business. Like that was a moment that I don't forget, when I said to myself, I'm going to be good at enrolling distributors. And I said to myself, I'm going to be good at this Instagram thing. So like for maybe like a solid month, I was just Instagram 101. I was on YouTube. I was watching old interviews. I was like watching all type of trainings. Like, this speaks to me. This doesn't. This is shady. This is Travia. Finding what works for me. And I tested it. I would pause videos and work through it. Like, I became a student of the business until I got it. And then I just ran with it. So before I went diamond, and my mindset is something I had to work on. So if you're like that cousin on here that's like, yeah, I deal with anxiety, I deal with depression, I deal with worry or whatever, like that was me. But I had to decide that, listen, it's like, I'm either going to stay in this place where I'm paralyzed, and I'm just going to live my life anxious, worried, depressed, like never living out my passion, or I'm going to get it together. Knowing my why, like looking at my grandpa, I ain't got all day. Like I'm about to either use the bathroom or get out, So that was kind of what started everything. And then the whole, like, believing you're a diamond, affirming it, writing it all over my house, like having it on my mirror, and just staying in the zone. Like I kind of was at a place like, if it's not diamond, I don't want to hear it. If it's not about the team, if it's not about where we're going, like I just had to get in this bubble. even you know, that bubble of peace, like I mimic you so much, girl. And I had to get in this bubble to where it was like, I'm going diamond, this is happening, I can do it, I'm good at this, like reassuring myself all the time. In the weeks or the days when I stopped, so because my mind was so tainted, I knew I had to go on overload. So if you know that you don't have the mindset or something's going on with you, go on overload. Listen to more than what you think you need. And that's what helped me. I went on overload. I separated myself. Like I just stayed here in quarantine. And I just got myself together and boom, there it is.
That's so good. So,
Yeah.
oh gosh, so you said going on overload.
Right.
So if you know you're somebody who deals with anxiety, if you know you're somebody who has struggled with depression, who worries about things, how can you stay on top of it to actually progress forward? Okay, let's talk about the team, the team aspect, because I know a lot of people are like, well, my distributors, you know, you've been there. My distributors ain't working and nobody's showing up. Let's talk about the shift in your mindset to get the people on the team that you desired on the team, because it's really about you, not necessarily the distributors. Can you talk about that?
Oh yeah, and hopefully I don't talk the rest of the hour. Y'all, like it's legit. You are, so whoever you are is what you're gonna attract in your business. And I've heard this so many times on Zooms and trainings, and this is why I said you have to be cognizant of these things, because we hear them, but it doesn't like marinate. We don't keep it in the forefront, so it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other. But it is so true. So in the early stages of my business, when I was just young, on fire, being coachable, like that's what I got. You know, we were on fire, we were coachable, we were having fun, but we didn't really know. Like we weren't really studying the craft. I mean, this is a craft, you know, at the end of the day. So if you want that longevity, you're gonna have to get good at the business. So for me, honestly, it's so big to work on yourself, because as I got better at the business, I enrolled people that were better at the business. As I was busting out enrollments, like I started enrolling people that are busting out enrollments now. And it's because of the confidence, it's because of the systems that I was not using properly. But now that I'm using them properly, it's a lot. Like it's just so much. Using what we have to offer, now people are able to come in a lot smoother and get going, and then you can see a lot quicker what people are about. So I know in my early stages of the business and years pushing, I was dragging people along that did not really want it. I literally had a chart from maybe like the beginning of the year, and it didn't look that different towards the end of the year, because I was constantly stacking, filling, you know, people aren't working, and I was just married to this chart. And even at a new month, new goals, you're like, yeah, new month, new goals, and then you start to write them same old name. You still do it, and it's because, you know, we feel like we work hard for these distributors. We get so dependent, and that's a belief thing. That's a belief thing. Like, oh man, I signed these two, barely my steps. Like I signed these two, and I don't really believe that I can sign more. Or it's like, if I don't pull them, if I don't fill it, if I don't do this, then I'll never get here. So it was like a lack mentality for a very, very long time, not even realizing it was lack, like just being ignorant, not being self-aware of my own self. So if you're somebody who has this chart and, you know, maybe you feel married to it, or you've had the same names month after month, you know, it's time to let it go. It's time to file for divorce. And I promise you, as you get that belief, like now, like if I pull out a new chart, it's like, okay, this is math, like 9 lives, you know, X amount of sales, like we can do this. I believe that I can do it now. And it doesn't feel like, oh my God, I have to pull out another diamond chart and I don't even know like what.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because the month, I think it was the month you went diamond, we talked about you taking people off.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Talk about it.
Yeah. So even in the midst, even with going, like we did have.
I'm sorry. Let me say this real quick, and then talk about how you boxed like the day before you went.
Yes. So in the midst of all of this stuff, and what's really crazy is everything she's saying is true. Like It's never too late. We literally boxed at the last minute. Literally at the last minute. And that was belief. We finished like literally at the last minute, you know, I'm just gonna be real. But it was belief. It was belief. Like I knew I was about to sign that last distributor and I knew exactly where she was going. So if you don't have that belief, there's no way you're going to be able to do that at the last minute. But if you have that confidence, you can create what you want. Like you can create results. That's how I feel now. So even when I'm having like a dry day, if it's something that I need to get done, like I have that backbone confidence, like I can create results. I can get out of host to post. I can follow up. I can get somebody on the 3-way and just do what needs to be done.
I was going to say control what you can, and it kind of even takes me back to the Launchpad where it talks about those barriers and how you can still win. And I think a lot of times we always see ourselves as the only people who can win, but there are so many different ways to win, to hype yourself up and give yourself that bubbly feeling of success in this business. And so that is amazing. So I want you to talk to the person on this Zoom who is going diamond this month. They've claimed it. They're like you. They've been claiming diamond for a long time, but they're doing it for real this time. Talk to me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I would say, Travia would say, listen, this your cousin Travia, okay? I would say, be you, have so much fun. Like when I went diamond, I had fun. I was creative. I created like new slides. Like I was just having fun going live. So show people your personality. That is what's going to take you to the next level. So like if your page is not a great reflection of you, if you're just doing what you think you should do, if you're just doing a lot of copy paste, like there's no swag in your post, like be yourself. That's exactly what I would tell you. Be yourself. Affirm it every day, all day. Like you do not sound stupid. Do not get lazy and stop your affirmations. Because I had to catch myself a couple times. Like I didn't do my affirmations today, or I didn't journal today, or I didn't pray as long as I should pray. Maybe I need to go back and pray some more. Like do the things. Like do all the things. Don't be lazy. And then I would say like get connected with your team in the best possible way. So if you're having problems connecting, because that was like my thing too for a long time. I had really big problems connecting. I felt like I could talk to everybody the same. And if it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go, I either shied away from it because I was like, okay, I don't want conflict. Or I would just not say the things. Like I would just sit on Zoom and just kind of nod and bear it is what my grandpa would say. And just not, I wouldn't leave. So get with your team, figure out who really wants it, and you have to install that same belief in them. Because a lot of times when we get on Zoom and we talk, especially if it's group setting, you may not get the real person. Like sometimes on Zoom, it's so easy to nod and be like, yeah, I get it, but it's something within them that might be holding them back. So you'll have to take off that distributor hat and be like, and call them like, hey girl, like distributor hat off. Like, what's going on? How are you really feeling? How's your life? Because like I said, deep down inside, like I was dealing with a lot of stuff. So asking those questions, gosh, what else would I say? I would say so much. And just keep going. Keep going until like the end. Like see it through. Even when it looks like it can't get any brighter, break that promotion down. Like that's what really helped me, because if you break down the numbers, if you break down, and Rachel told me like box by box, that was like my motto. Oh my gosh, box by box, box by box. Because when you're looking at the whole chart, you're like, woo, Jesus, this is a lot. I don't know what to do. Like this girl ain't even working. But if you just breathe, you remember your why, you say box by box, and you're doing the things, like God will bless you. He will bless you tremendously with the volume, with the people. Like come through distributor on the last day that I need to box in. Like he will do it. It's us that gets in the way. It's like a flower that's growing. It's growing and growing, and then here you come with your negativity, your concrete. Here you come with the negativity and the bad thoughts and not working as hard. And granted, grace, right? So every day is day one. But if you put that concrete on top of yourself, it's like that, I'll get it next month. I'll get it next time. But God he wants to crack that concrete and let you be the rose that grew, the rose that grows through it. So that's what I would say. You got it. Be yourself, have fun, and finish it.
All right, so talk to me about going to the next level, because you've been here for a while. So going from diamond to moving forward, talk to the person. We have leaders on here as well, and there's this differentness when it's a fresh promotion.
Yeah.
So talk to us about your mindset now going to the next level.
I'm right now, how I honestly feel, I'm just so excited. I'm excited. I have a lot of confidence. I think going for the next level is completely about my team. It's like, who can I help? Who can I push forward? Who can I get to where I am now, where I feel now? So I'm really concerned about the leadership. Like, leadership is big. So that personal development, like, what book y'all reading? Y'all reading y'all book? I'm like the book mama. Y'all reading? Like, those are the things that I'm focused on, because I noticed that if I can really key in on that leadership, and they said that on the DT boot camp, like, keying in on that leadership early, because you want leaders. It's good, to have those followers, to have those disciples, but you want them to also be leaders in their own too, so you can trust them in their own, way. So I think right now, just working on that leadership, of course, going double, going triple, going top 150, walking the stage at conference, like all of those things, and just really embodying where I'm at. So like, I know when I went diamond, like the first couple of days, I was excited, but I just kind of just felt like, wow, like I finally got what I said I was going to do for so long. So it was a feeling of not paralyzed, but just like, wow, like this is for real. Like I'm here. And now I just want everybody to feel the same. I want everyone to grow in their leadership. I want us as a group to just find ourselves, find our voice, find our personality, and just take that belief to the next level. Like, belief. I might be like the belief fairy, but that's what did it for me. I totally give honor to God and my belief, because like Travia was not completing steps. Travia was out here doing other stuff. Like, Travia was not a top and roller. And I'm just so blessed, like, that he keeps showing me that I can do it. So I think that that's the number one thing, like that belief, and it has to be your own belief. So my belief won't look like someone else believes. My affirmations won't look like your affirmations. But if you're too busy, like, trying to align yourself with what somebody else does in their faith walk, or in their belief walk, or their confidence walk, you'll never find your lane. And so that way you won't be able to take off. So I think that's a big thing too, because for a long time I was like, okay, let me try to be just like Rachel. Let me try to sound like her, post like her. Let me look at this top income earner and let me try to post like her and sound like her, because that's what we do. We look at all these pages and we try to like be the perfect it works girl. Like we try to have this image and we lose ourselves. Like we lose our spunk. We lose what made us funny, what made us, sassy. Or if you like I like makeup. I love clothes. I like to travel. I have a lot of life and personality. Like, I'm not this quiet, shy girl that I spoke out into the universe. So, finding myself again is what led me here. So I would say, what does your belief look like for you? What do you need to do every day to make sure you feel good, to make sure that you look good? Your look good don't have to be somebody else's look good. So I might have on lip gloss, Rachel got on lipstick. Okay? So you have to find your own lane. And I think once a lot of people start to embody that, I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to look like anybody else but me. So let me get good at this business, have fun with it, and like, it'll just blow up, man.
That is so good. Like, that is so good and true. So good and true. I got a few questions. So, going during this diamond journey, I'm not gonna say run, because
It's been a journey
here, right? So during your growing the team to the next level, right? During this journey in the process, did your team believe, and well, I mean, you kind of talked about this, how did you instill that belief in them? Like, how were they? How did you coach them? How did you stay level-headed in the midst of it? So what was the team like as you were going? And was it, and I almost want to say from this question, I almost feel like I know what your answer is going to be, but I'm going to let you, because, yep, I'm going to let you answer it though. And did you focus on their beliefs? So like, how were they with going? But I want you to more importantly hit on how you were with them.
Yeah. So yeah. You know me so well, Rachel. It's crazy. But I would say more or less how I installed the belief. One, so getting those quick wins, and then running with the runners. Like,
talk about the quick wins. What were the quickest wins?
So quick wins. So like shopping, first LC, first post.
What were you doing?
Making everything a big deal. So first of all, once I sign a new distributor, sending them the welcome email. So making sure they have like personalized communication with me, getting them in the launch pad. And then right away, I'm getting them started on either like host a post or reaching out to family and friends. Because if they can start even getting comments that first day, getting feedback, some type of traction within the first day. So I was getting my distributors a lot sooner than I was like before. Like before, it's like I sign you up, I throw you in the launch pad or I threw you in boot camp. And it's like, all right, we're just going day by day. But now it's like, all right, I just signed this girl. Like, I need to text her. Let's set up the one-to-one. Let me hold her accountable to the launch pad. Let me not just throw her in there, but let me check back on her and make sure she didn't fall or something, So that is what I did. And then, like you said, as far as my leadership with them, I definitely know this time around, I was a leader and I was unapologetic, keying into who I truly am as a leader. So taking off that hat of like, I'm scared, I'm timid, and I'm shy, and what if she says this? I'm telling y'all, I was just like a potato. I was like, womp, womp, womp. That's how I feel like I was before. But now it was almost like, not that I didn't care, but I could say the things and take the feelings out of it. Wow, I feel like I'm spitting out all my learning, right? But take the feelings out of it. So taking out that fear of like, well, what if she says this, or what if that? But saying the things that she needed to say, and then we can dissect it afterwards, because I'm doing you no justice if I don't tell you the truth. So realizing that I was coming from a good place now, before I felt I was in my feelings. So I would approach every situation feeling anxious, even before I would get on Zoom, like, ooh, this is about to go bad, or ooh, I don't want to have to say these things, like already coming into it. And now it's like, you know what, I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's get her on here and talk to her. So I think that was really big. And one more thing too, Rachel, running with the runners. Like before, it's like, okay, everybody gets a piece of my arm, right? It's like everybody gets a piece of my arm. It don't even matter if you're gone, you're here, everybody. Now it's like loving you where you're at. If you're not getting into the launch pad, I still love you, but I'm about to focus on homegirl over here who's in the launch pad and who's, reaching out to her 30. And I will do that with a quickness now, like quickness. I don't know if it's too quick, but hey, I'll do it with a quickness now, because those who aren't really on it, even if, as you allow them to come to the table, they'll see who gets served first. They'll see who gets excused from the table first. They will see that. And as they see it, they'll either get inspired and come with you, or they'll ask how they can support, how they can help, or how they can get better. Or, they'll just keep watching, and that's okay. When they're ready, they're ready. So definitely like releasing those strongholds of, I got to pull everybody along, and, just really nurturing those who willingly came to the table, because nurturing the few will explode your team a lot quicker than trying to be every woman for everybody, regardless of what people are doing. You have to pay attention to people's actions.
That is good. I'm trying to find this other question. So this is so funny that I think Shawana, I think I said your name right? She asked, and I'm laughing because I know her story, but you said, since you're the book mom, what book started your mindset belief? And I am cracking up that you called her the book mom. Like, that is an honor right now, Travia. Like, that's a big time honor.
Yeah.
Tell them your story about books.
The whole story right here. So it all started at TGI Fridays with me and Rachel. No, I'm just playing. But for real, so I was literally the girl. So here's one thing. If you try to do everything at once, you're not going to do anything well at all. So I was the one like, yeah, I'm about to get the books. I'm about to get the devotional. I'm about to get the planner. I'm about to get the pens. Like, I was about to get everything. I downloaded probably everything I could on Audible. And I didn't get past like chapter 4, 5 in any of them. I was not finishing any books. And I had to sit down with Rachel. She's like, what book are you reading? I'm like, girl, listen, I'm reading this and this thing, and I got something to say. And she's like, hold on. What book did you read? Like, what book did you start and finish? So I would say, first and foremost, finish your books before you move on to the next book. Because you will not be able to grasp what that book has for you if you're like just skipping your loot through all the books. And then number 2, you might be listening to a book that's on a platform that's way over your head. Oh my gosh, I was listening and reading books that were just over my head. Like, I wasn't ready for that. And that's something that I tell my team, like, it's great that you might see this on someone's story and keep that in your pocket, but like, talk to me before you just go out and buy just any old thing, because it matters what you read. So a lot of books that I read that were good for me. I mean, GoPro, I read the book like 3 times, new or old. GoPro is good. Beach Money was a good one. I read that on a couple of flights. That's like my go-to on the flight because it's quick. But that really helped me with tactical skills of like realizing that there's power in one. There's so much power in one. Currently reading Dare to Lead, Brene Brown, excited about that. But another book that was like really life-changing for me was Take Control of Your Life by Mel Robbins. Put it down, cousin. It is good. Take Control of Your Life by Mel Robbins. That was a book I needed to read for me. That was a book I needed to read to take control of my life and not to allow my mind to, and that's a great book if you deal with nerves, anxiety, public speaking. So just knowing how to deal with these scenarios when they arise, and then picking up devotionals. So any type of devotional you like, 100 Days to Brave. I have one too. What am I reading? Hi God, One More Thing is really good. So I just recommend ask your mentor what you need, because that person will be able to look at you and say like, wow, this book I can really recommend because I know it's going to speak to you in this season, versus just picking stuff out because, like I said, it might go over your head. So that's what I would recommend.
That's good. So Top and Roller, consistently throughout your entire journey to Diamond. Can you talk about that? Were you actually trying to be on it, or were you just working?
I would say first working, like just working, deciding I was going to be good at enrolling distributors because I love fast starts. Like, that's how I was able to eat and just encourage my heart month after month with this business, because I will enroll some DTs and get my fast starts. So I would say just working at first. And then as I kind of came into my own, like, I'm very competitive. So that's something that I learned about me. Like, I'm very competitive. I love a good competition. I love anything that has to do with recognition. So I love all of that. Like, I'm like, let's go. Let me see who's going to be on there this week. Like, it's always my goal to be number 1 on there. And it's not to outshine or like, oh, I want to be seen, but it's just something personal for me that keeps me motivated and keeps me consistent and brings out the beast. Like, it brings out that red personality in me that I suppressed for so long. So now it's like, I'm okay with it. But like I said, when I first started, it was just a decision that I wanted to be good. And then now it's more or less like, how can I get better at what I'm doing all the time? All the time I'm on Zoom. I'm looking for trainings. I don't miss anything. Like, I take learning the craft serious now more than ever.
Somebody asked what color you are.
Yeah, so I'm a red green.
Red green. Really? Did I know this? I don't even know if I know
I'm
that.
a red green.
I feel like you were blue. You were never blue. Okay, come on, red green. All right, so I'm a newbie. Tell me, okay, I'm a newbie and I joined this business. I want to be successful. I feel like it's a lot. Is it really a lot? Give me a tip.
It's not a lot. I would tell you, as a newbie right now, I would tell you, where's your planner? I'd be like, where's your planner? Do you have a planner? I would tell you to organize your schedule, and I would tell you to take control of your life. Like, that's legit. Ever since I read that book, like, that's kind of my combos, and like my squad can attest, like, take control of your life, because so often when I started, I was 19, I was in college, y'all. I don't know if it's just a sorority in me, no excuses, but I would work this business at the kickback, at the party, at the happy hour, because it's from your phone. So find that time that you can work your business. Like, don't give excuses for yourself. I would ask them, or I would ask you, so what is your time commitment? So I ask a lot of questions. I don't want to say indirectly, but sometimes you have to get stuff out of people so they can realize how they sound. So I would ask you, do you work right now? You know, do you work full time? Do you work part time? So you can see what type of time commitment you have to this. And then if you're feeling like, oh, this is too much, you know, like I don't want to post and I don't want to message and it's Zoom and Zoom, I would remind you of your why. And I always tell my story. So when people are saying like this too much, well, I was like, you know, when I was a manager at a cafe, slipping across floors in my non-slip shoes, cleaning vomit off of toilets, like that wasn't for me. That wasn't for me. People are quick to say like, well, that's just not for me. You know, that's for other people. I'm like, cleaning toilets wasn't for me. You know, dealing with kids that would smack me across my head and I can't do nothing, that wasn't for me either. But I did it because that was my job. I was a teacher assistant, y'all. And you know, 2-year-olds, they can be vicious when they're not around their parents, okay? So, so that was not for me, but I did it because that was my job. I worked so many different places, you know, shoe carnival, cafes. I did so many things. I would probably do whatever my boss told me to do, as long as it wasn't nothing crazy, you know. But I say that to say, like, don't give yourself an excuse. If you want freedom, broke is broke. I've said that before, so broke is broke. So if you want to change your life, like this is what we do. These are the things. I will help you work it into your schedule. And if you truly want it, like stick around. Let's figure it out. Let's be solution mindset.
All right, talk to me. I'm seasoned. I've been here like 4 years. I'm like a Ruby, but not reloading each month. Like, I need to get my life together. Give me some Travia juice right now so I can get my, just give me a tip. I need your help. Like, help.
Oh man, I would say I would share my story and let you know that I get you. Like I get it. And I would say I would look at your page probably. I would look at your page. I would look at what you're doing. And I like I said, I'm a strong believer, like get your personality like together, get who you are together, get your belief together, like get you together.
What do I need to do? Give me 3 practical steps.
3 practical steps.
Yes.
Okay, so I would say number 1, write out what you like. Write out your pillars. So I know we talk about like the 5 F's, or like what are your themes of your page. I would say write out like, and you gave us this task, it's so funny, but who are you? Like write out what you like and what you desire and what you want your team to look like. So that was something else big for me. I am truly pen to paper. So that's probably the green in me. I write out what type of team I desire. So how do I want my team to look? What age group? What characteristics am I looking for? Because until you're clear, you'll message everybody and you won't have energy behind your message. But when you're clear of the type of team you want to build, and I know for me, like I don't want like a perfect team. I want a very diverse team. I want people to come into this business just as they are, and I want them to level up. I want to see that growth, because that was me. I was not perfect. I was in all type of sin. Okay, so that's what I want, because no one comes and gets the little man nowadays, you know. So I would ask you, what kind of team do you desire? I would say make a schedule. So how do you want your day to look? How do you want your day to look? What time are you going to get up? You know, what are the events, or what are your non-negotiables? So what are things that you have to do? I would ask a lot of questions. So I know I'm saying a lot, but I would ask a lot of questions. What are things that you have to do? Put them on your schedule so you can see when you can work your business. And lastly, I would say find a group or find somebody that you connect with that speaks your language. That's what I would say. Somebody that speaks your language. And I mean by that, someone that can literally pour into you and you can openly receive it. Because a lot of times, like, you can have someone that's coaching you, that's leading you, and you may be like, yeah, but she don't get it. Like, she don't get it. So you need to find an
example of this, because you know there's a thin line where people be like, well, I don't need my upline, let me go talk to her.
Yeah. So there is a thin line. You need your upline. That's number one. You need your upline for that support. But I will say that you have to know what penetrates your heart. Like I think it was Breon that said you have to know what makes your distributors tick. So if you are within a group, or you're finding yourself like hearing something and it's not making you tick, or it's not making you respond, or it's not penetrating your heart, then you might need to hop on Cammie's live and bring her into your circle. You might need to go listen to some Pam and bring her into your circle. You might be listening to Sarah Jakes, but you really need TDJ. So it's like you got to find what speaks to you. And that doesn't mean disregard your squad, disregard your upline. But at the same time, you have to know what penetrates you. That's the best advice that I can give. Because that's what helped me. I had to find something that was like, you know what, I've heard this, but now it's clicking for someone like me.
Anything else? That's so good. You give all the juice today. Come on, top income earner, Travia, Gray. Come on. What else? What is one thing that you just cannot get off of here without saying to us?
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. I will say.
And then I want to know in the next 5 years. No, not in the next 5 years. I want to say through the end of this year. Woo! What are the goals and things that you're going for?
Okay, so triple diamond. So if you on here, listen, like triple diamond, y'all, we're going triple. But that is my goal through the end of the year. Get to VIP, be a top income earner by conference, and really just lead by example to just continue to grow. Like that is my thing. Growth from GLS, like that word is just sitting with me more and more, because I have grown so much, and I feel like I've worked so hard to get here. I can't look back, and that doesn't mean I'm going to be perfect. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to fall and I'm going to have to learn, but it will always be forward. It will always be forward from this moment moving on. And then I would say the last thing I want to leave you guys with is just don't give up, and don't go fast. That would be my thing. I'm the type of girl, I'm very bubbly, optimistic, go fast. Even if, like Rachel said, I was going diamond before I was diamond. Every month I was diamond, I'm diamond till boom, I was diamond. So go fast. You do not have to feel like, you know, you have to build this slow and take your time. And I mean, granted, you know, do what your upline tell you. This is only your cousin Travia telling you. But go fast. Like, why not you? Why not this month? Why not this month? I mean, if you put your mind to it, you will get the results. It will literally, fall into pieces if you put your mind to it. So decide, go after it, go fast. Like don't wait 5 years to go diamond. Like get your act together. Whether that's picking up a book tonight, journaling tonight, doing it tonight, do it now. Like that's what I would say. So, yeah.
Praise Come on, Breon, Ambassador Diamond. I hear you. What's up? Go ahead and pray us out.
Who's praying?
You.
Oh, I was like, who's Travia? All right, I will definitely pray us out. Oh man, this is my first Zoom prayer, y'all. So go ahead, close your eyes, and we're gonna pray. Jesus, thank you so much for this amazing Zoom. I am so honored to be a part of this group. I just honor you, and I thank you for Rachel even thinking of me. I truly pray that this Zoom was helpful and penetrated the heart of anybody on here who might be feeling discouraged, might feel like they have lost their way, they don't have their own identity. God, I just ask that you give them the strength to carry on and to decide that nothing is too big or too great for you. No amount of volume, no amount of distributors needed, like nothing is too great for you, and that if they look to you and they ask you for all that they need, that it is possible. So God, I just ask that every goal, every desire in the hearts on this Zoom are fulfilled, and that you continue to walk with us and just lead us every single day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.